Phyllis Reynolds Naylor is an American author, best known for her children and young adult fiction books. Naylor is best known for her children's novel, Shiloh. She is also known for her Alice book series, The Grand Escape, the short story collection, and the Witch Saga series. Naylor was born January 4, 1933 in Anderson, Indiana. Her family was strongly religious with conservative Midwestern values, and most of her childhood was spent moving a lot due to her father's occupation as a salesman. Although she grew up during the Great Depression and her family did not have a lot of money, Naylor stated that she never felt poor because her family owned good books. Both her parents went to college at Anderson University, where her mother got her degree in religious education and her father studied to become a minister. Her parents enjoyed reading stories to the children. Her father would imitate the characters in Huckleberry Finn, as well as Tom Sawyer, and her mother read to them every evening. Naylor states, "Almost until we were old enough to go out on dates, though we would have never admitted this to anyone." By the time Phyllis reached 5th grade, writing books was her favorite hobby, and she would rush home each day to write whatever plot she had forming in her head. And since her family was poor and couldn't afford to buy paper, she would dig through the trash for any scrap paper to be able to write her stories. When she was 16 years old, a Sunday school teacher asked her to write a story for the church magazine. Her first story was called Mike's Hero, which was about a baseball team. This was accepted and published. She received $4.67 for her story. Soon after that, Naylor graduated from Joliet Township High School in 1951. She states that her inspiration for writing books came from her parents because they've always read to her Sunday school teacher, and the teachers she had who enjoyed reading her stories. After high school, she attended Joliet Junior College, where she tried to obtain a degree in education in 1953. At the same time, she married her first husband at the age of 18. And 5 years into the marriage, her husband developed signs of mental illness. After many trials and tribulations, she decided to divorce her husband since he was checked into a mental hospital. After this, Naylor returned to American University and tried to obtain a Bachelor's of Arts degree in clinical psychology. Before she was going to graduate, she decided to become a full-time author. In 1960, she got remarried to Rex Naylor, and they have 2 sons, Jeffrey and Michael. 5 years later, her first children's book, called The Galloping Goat and Other Stories, was published in 1965. This book contains a total of 9 stories that were originally published in magazines. The genre for this book includes fiction, children and young adult, as well as multicultural. Naylor's books usually feature young people who face adverse situations and inner fears to find personal strength and maturity. Addressing moral, religious, psychological, and family issues, she writes about such subjects as mental and physical illness. Although she often writes about the difficulties of living, Naylor presents young readers with a positive, optimistic view of life and a philosophy that stresses acceptance of both self and others. Naylor's 65th book, Shiloh, won her the Newbery Medal in 1992, the annual award bestowed by the Children's Librarians Division of American Library Association is given for the most distinguished contribution to American literature for children. In January 1994, over 60,000 3rd through 6th graders in the state of Oklahoma selected Shiloh from 23 nominees as their winner of the Sequoia Children's Book Award. Shiloh also won the Mark Twain Award, which is decided annually through a vote by 4th through 8th graders in the state of Missouri. Naylor's inspiration to write Shiloh happened after an emotionally taxing experience in West Virginia where she encountered an abused dog. The novel is set in the small town of Friendly, West Virginia, where an 11-year-old boy named Marty Preston finds a stray beagle wandering in the hills near his house. After Marty takes Shiloh in, his real owner is found, Judd Travers, who owns several hunting dogs. Fearing for Shiloh's safety because Judd drinks and treats his hunting dogs poorly, Marty does not want to return Shiloh. This triggers a series of events about who will keep Shiloh in the end. Shiloh is told in first person in the main character Marty Preston's voice. The genre is classified as a children's novel and adventure novel. The novel's main themes are ethics, religion, morality, and animal-human relationships. Marty learns that morality is confounding and he must choose between two unpleasant choices: rescuing the abandoned Shiloh through lying and stealing, or allowing Judd to keep abusing Shiloh. Naylor is as well known for her Alice series of books. The Alice series follows the main character, Alice McKinley, known as Al, to her father and older brother as she grows up in Silver Spring, Maryland. Alice's mother dies of leukemia when Alice was 5 years old. Alice has a hard time at first growing up in an all-male household, but her father and brother Lester prove to be honest and open about almost everything Alice talks about. The Alice series discusses many topics including relationships, dating, sex, friendship, life problems, family, God, and understanding. Everything a young girl goes through at some point in their life. Naylor's inspiration for this series comes from memories of things that happened to her and her friends and the way she felt about them at Alice's age. Also from things she observed happening around her or things that people tell her about. The books have made the ALA, American Library Association, list for most challenged book for several years, making it to #1 on the list in 2003 for their sexual content. The Witch Saga is a 6-part fantasy novel series. The book deals with supernatural forces, precisely witchcraft. The series begins with Lynn and her best friend, Mouse, as they are positive their neighbor, Mrs. Tuggle, is a witch. They suspect the old woman is forcing Lynn's sister, Judith, to join her convoy of witches. But Lynn and Mouse can't prove anything to their parents because they don't believe them. And the girls are desperate to expose Mrs. Tuggle's evil nature, especially since her actions are becoming more and more threatening every day. The genre for these books include children's fiction, fantasy, mystery fiction, and horror. In 1992, Naylor's book, Witchweed, from the Witch Saga series, was nominated for the Edgar Allan Poe Awards, also called the Edgars. This award is named after Edgar Allan Poe. These are presented every year by the Mystery Writers of America. They honor the best in mystery fiction, nonfiction, television, film, and theater, published or produced the previous year. Naylor and her husband live in Bethesda, Maryland, and at age 78 she has no plans of quitting writing anytime soon. She continues writing her first 2 drafts in her writing chair every time she writes a new book.